Peace, love, and about her hair grease, y'all. What's good? It is a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. It is the day of Mercury, so that means it's my day. I really just real quick wanted to take time, like I always do. Thank you for all the new subscribers that I have gotten. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you for those who have been emailing me in regards to, like I said, advice and readings as well. If I have not got to your email or answered any of your questions yet, please bear with me. Please be patient with me. I do have a lot going on outside of my YouTube life, okay? So actually, I'm really just gonna keep it real. I'm at the park and I was burning sage, because you know I do try to do some type of meditation when I do sage, when I do my YouTube videos, and I was burning some sage, and apparently, you know, this white lady I came over and says disturbing her cheerleaders that don't have no fucking rhythm. So that shit threw me off. Okay, I didn't respond to her, and she threatened to call the police on me if I didn't put my fucking sage out. Okay, that's how somebody asked me, does sage work? Yeah, that shit works, because obviously sage is meant to cleanse unpurified energy. So she was an unpurified energy. If it fucking bothered her, then you already know what the fuck it is. But like I said, I reclaim my power from the situation. I did not address her because I don't acknowledge white people. You dig? So at least not the righteous ones, the non-righteous, righteous ones, okay? Anyway, real quick, okay, so this video is going to be about my analysis on the purge and just the things that I learned and the messages I received from spirit after seeing that video. Okay, so as you know, the first purge came out, not the actual first one, but that's the name of the recent one that came out on the 4th, July 4th, okay? Now, this movie was a prequel to how all of the purges start, okay? Now, the purge is, of course, about, you know, you get one day, America has, you know, passed a law where you get one day where all crime is completely legal, okay? And the agenda behind that was just to eliminate the lower class, okay? The class that is poor, okay? Just have everybody kill each other so they'll take each other out, you know what I'm saying? So now, before I kind of get into my analysis and the things that I thought about and the experiences that I had, there's a process called Neurocinematics, right? Neurocinematics is basically how movies program your subconscious mind, okay? That's kind of should be obvious, but if you didn't know that, that's kind of what that term is. I'm going to do a video on that, going in more depth, because that's kind of what happened at Black Panther. Neurocinematics was very prevalent in that movie, as you can tell. Yeah, so basically, it's obvious that movies program our subconscious mind, okay? Now, with the purge, it's very dangerous because, of course, it's so realistic and things like that can really happen, you know what I'm saying, here in America. You know, I don't like calling it a country because America isn't a country. It's a fucking business, you dig? So, yeah, so just the simple fact that that can even be realistic is, and people know that, even the people I've talked to about the movie understand that it can be realistic as well. That's a form of neurocinematics. Now, just to give like a brief synopsis on the movie was basically, the first purge started off as an experiment, okay? And they started it off in Staten Island, New York, where it's obviously predominantly, and they put the experiment first in the predominantly Black community, aka you know, the projects or whatever, just to run an experiment. And then they're asking a whole psychoanalyzing people, hey, are you angry, blah, blah, blah. Do you feel like your anger could be released? How would you like it to be released? Yada, 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 okay? So, yeah, so you have things in the movie, like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, it's going to be a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen, so they have things in the movie where, in order to track the people who are participating in this experiment, they inject them with IUDs, and they have you put some contacts on as a form of, they can see what you see. So the contacts basically act like a camera, where if you do any crime, they'll be able to see it, document it. And how they got people to do this experiment is basically offering them just $5,000 to participate in the experiment. Now, of course, people who are in a low community environment, they're going to take that because poverty and struggling financially was a very big theme in that, you know what I'm saying, community. So they will offer, a lot of people who participate in the experience will offer 5,000. Now, any crime that you decide to do, like murder, basically murder, okay? The more crime that you did, the higher you would get paid, okay? Now, just real quick, I'm not gonna list any characters because that's really, to me, not important right now. But of course, when starting out, I don't think people actually took this serious. Okay, so basically, the big picture of it was nobody at first was participating in the purge because, you know, naturally, black and brown people, we're not naturally violent. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're naturally righteous people. We always want to help people, even other people that don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the reasons why, you know, we kind of failed, because we were too righteous. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to help people who didn't look like us, and it fucked us over. Okay, so let's not let history repeat itself. Okay, now so people weren't purging. So the people who were in charge of the experience, when they see people were having a party, they had like some type of purge party in the neighborhood during the time when the purge was going on. The people in the who were conducting the experience, they saw this and they were kind of, you know, appalled, like, oh my God, you know, they aren't killing each other, aren't at each other's necks, blah blah blah. You know, they didn't like that idea that, you know, people in that community weren't taking themselves out. They expected them to be fucking savages and, you know, just kill each other or whatever, because that's how they view us, as savages. You know what I'm saying? But whatever, we already know we the gods, whatever. But yeah, so in order to kind of, you know how obviously media manipulates and whatever, so in order to kind of get this agenda pushing, or get kind of people to recognize, hey, this is actually working, the government and the people in charge of this type of experiment, they actually sent in ex-military spiritual operations to kind of execute the people that were within the area, and kind of make it look like it was the people in Staten Island in that community actually committing crimes on each other, when it was really the government implementing their own people to come in these communities and execute the people, the black and brown people that were in, you know, the Staten Island community. Now, obviously that goes to show you that the government would obviously do anything to further its agenda. We already know that. If you don't know, now you know, okay? And basically this whole movie is just based on classism, okay? It's really, at the end of the day, even though a lot of white people are fucked up because they've been miseducated to think that they're genetically dominant on the fucking planet, when they're actually not. They actually have, obviously, the weakest genes. They have Rh positive blood. They come from Neanderthals, you know what I'm saying? No more than 7,000, 6,000 years ago, they wasn't even wearing drawers or wearing upright. So obviously we know, if you study the Caucasus Mountains, they can't be that fucking advanced, you know what I'm saying? So they have, a lot of black people have the misconception that, you know what I'm saying, they're genetically dominant, and not until they colonized the world, Africa and other countries were just these uncivilized countries, and they brought their fucking shit in and then civilized it, whatever. Obviously, that's what really a lot of people out here think, a lot of white people out here think. So when I say it's not about really racism, it's really not about racism, it's really about who got money, who don't, okay, the rich versus the poor. And if you look at the other purges, you know what I'm saying, it was white people, you know what I'm saying, in the other purges who were of lower class getting killed. So it wasn't about black or white, it was just about the rich and the poor, you know what I'm saying? And at this point in time, you know, the main focus is population control, because a lot of people, especially black people of melanin, who have a high melanin content, we produce children a lot faster than whites and people who are of other races, because, you know, we are the dominant gene. So I don't know if you read this article. Prince Harry was talking about population control and how he plans on depopulizing Africa by 20 whatever. Like I said, they can try, but at the end of the day, we're not going nowhere. We're the Alpha and the Omega, so we're not fucking going nowhere. They're gonna try to do some bullshit, but at the end of the day, you know, this is our planet. God chose us. They were made in the fucking lab at the end of the day. So yeah, this movie's basically on population control. Now, if you, I was watching Conjure Queen. She made Conjure Queen. She's also a healer. I really like her channel too. Shout out to her. She also made the point that in New York and other cities, I'm sure this is going on in other cities and other low-income areas, that that they kind of already started, you know what I'm saying, this process where she, in her video talking about the purge as well, it's kind of inspired me to do it. She was talking about how, you know, how some project communities, they have like cages and fences around them, and it's look like it's to keep people in, and how they, like, the police have implemented like these bright highlights and these fucking cameras around the projects to prevent crime, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, you know, they really don't give a fuck about us at the end of the day. It's not the fact of eliminating crime, because they could really give a damn. It's just, you know, monitoring and preparing for something similar to the purge, maybe like, you know, kind of like a FEMA camp type of thing, in attempts to do population control. Now, the movie was really good. One of the characters named Dimitri, he sold drugs in his community, and he ended up, him and, you know, his boys, you know, his crew who sold drugs, they were actually the ones who ended up saving the community, ironically, you know what I'm saying? So I really, you know, fuck with that, especially seeing like a fine black man at that, a very fine dark specimen, kind of playing this this warrior role, you know what I'm saying, protecting his community from the government, you know what I'm saying, from people who don't even reside or not even from that community. It was really refreshing to see just that warrior spirit come out, you know what I'm saying, and do what he got to do to protect, you know, his own. And it was a female role in there too. I forgot the character's name, but she was an activist, you know what I'm saying. She did humanitarian goals, really cared about her community too. And Dimitri and this female character, they obviously in the past had a relationship. Like I said, please go see it. It's very vital that you really see it. Okay, so really that's really the plan, or really the, well, from what I got out of it, this is my interpretation, you know what I'm saying, that this is, you know, kind of what's going on, you know what I'm saying. Like, the government obviously is focused on population control, especially amongst black and brown people, because like I said, we produce children a lot faster. Every time you fucking scroll on Facebook and fucking open Instagram, somebody always pregnant, and 9 times out of 10, you know, they're black. So black people and brown people and Hispanics, we're having children faster than normal, while whites, they're actually dying faster than they're being born at this time. It was, I've already known this, but Time magazine, they have an article confirming that shit as well. So like I said, do your research. Don't take anything that I say for face value. Now, so when the movie ended, right, throughout the entire movie I felt some type of way, you know what I'm saying. So I knew that I didn't think I would, because I wasn't expecting it to be this purge to be centered around the black community, you know what I'm saying. But it was, you know what I'm saying. So I was feeling some type of way about it, even though, you know, I try not to speak on black issues, because when I first got into my awakening, I tried to wake, you know, if you was black, I was trying to educate you about Jesus and all that other shit. Niggas wasn't trying to hear it. So it's not the fact that I've given up now, it's just the fact that I can't make other black people who are like me believe that they're God, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, the chosen ones are the ones that choose themselves. So I can't continue to talk about Trayvon Martin and us getting killed in the streets when we're paying taxes to the same motherfuckers who's killing us, you know what I'm saying, and we're voluntarily celebrating their holidays. Like, that's just pandemonium to me. So really, what I do now is just centered around black people who already know who's got their gods, who already got out that system, who already got out that ideology, and want to look more to how to further, you know, their information and their knowledge and their self-being and their spiritual beings. Okay. Now, like I said, throughout the movie, I really felt some type of way, you know what I'm saying. Like damn, like, they really trying to take us out, you know what I'm saying. Like, and that shit can really fucking happen, you know. And I was just going through like waves of emotions, you know what I'm saying. It's not only these celestial energies and these planetary energies that's going on, but it's also yeah, like I said, that's really, I think, contributed to it too. Like, it's like a full moon coming up, or another eclipse coming up, or some shit like that in Leo, and you know, I feel that shit. So throughout the entire movie, I was experiencing like a waves of emotions, and you know, I'm a Gemini, so I'm really learning how to be more in tune with my emotions instead of detached and intellectual all the time. So that was a lesson for me. So even though at the end of the movie, it ended well, you know what I'm saying, Dimitri, you know, saved his community, and you know, they had the Kendrick Lamar, we gonna be all right shit, you know, that did kind of, you know, touch me a little bit, that did kind of affect me a little bit. Well, as I got out, you know what I'm saying, the movie theater, I was just analyzing the movie how much that can really happen. And you know, as a light worker or whatever, a dark worker, or occult worker, whatever you want to call it, I started to feel like depressed, you know what I'm saying, because I know I'm not from this planet, and it was nighttime when I left, so I saw the stars, and I've always been attracted to like the night sky, the stars, you know, the moon, because I always had a connection to it. I never understood why until now, because you know, that's where I come from, that's where I derive from. Okay, so I began to look at the stars, and I began like to kind of cry, and like thinking to myself, like, I want to go home, like I want to get off this planet, because this planet is so fucking evil. Like, you got pedophilia about to be legalized, like you got people, like the government could possibly force, you know, vaccinations and shit like that. So, you know, when I think about these shits, you know, I do stay strong, but it be times where I'm just like, I just want to go, like I just want to take myself out, you know what I'm saying, like not on like no depressive shit, but like this hell is really like, I mean, fucking Earth is really hell, you know what I'm saying? So as I began to look at the stars, see how beautiful they were, you know what I'm saying, and you know, knowing that that's my home, I began to cry, you know what I'm saying? I just began to go through these surges of emotions, and you know, I just lost it. Like I was just like pacing, I was just like thinking like, I just want to go home, I want to get out of here. But subconsciously, it was a little part in it was a little voice in my head that was just like, well, you can't leave until your mission is complete. I'm like, oh, I know, fuck, like I know. Okay, so as I continue to look at the stars and pace, you know what I'm saying, I just began to gaze at the stars, and I just heard a voice saying, remember who you are, remember who you are, remember who you are. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, like you're right. And as soon as I heard that voice, you know what I'm saying, I looked at my phone, and I got to see, I've been getting synchronicities on my phone through numbers. That's how like my angels communicate with me through numbers. So I saw the synchronicity 1010. So I was like, okay, everything gonna be okay, whatever. Because I have the ideology that even though this world is fucked up, I didn't reincarnate and I didn't learn all these lessons just to be fucked over by the government, just to be put in no FEMA camp. You know what I'm saying? So it is a divine purpose as a god or a goddess that, you know, my power is above the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, my lineage, my bloodline, even where I came from, I know I don't fear death, because I know that, you know what I'm saying, death is only an illusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, death doesn't scare me. At the end of the day, once I'm complete with my purpose, I'm out of here. Like I said, I ain't gonna take myself out, but I welcome death with full arms once, you know, I complete whatever purpose or go through whatever karmic lessons I'm here to learn. So once I begin to remember who I am, that's when things got a lot better. I started to calm down a little bit. And then ironically, it's this guy that I know, he's a friend of mine. His name is T. So I run into him every once in a while. He's a Sagittarius, so he's my opposite. So we always talk about higher knowledge, and I teach him a lot of things. He's very fascinated about me because he likes to learn, you know, the things that I have to say. So, you know, it was funny how I didn't go straight to my room or straight home, and he came down the elevator, you know what I'm saying, I saw him. You know what I'm saying? We just started chopping up because he saw it too. So we just started discussing the movie and black issues in the black community. And he tried to ask me how I feel, and I was reluctant to tell him how I really feel. Like, hey, you know, I really want to get off this planet, you know what I'm saying, but I have a mission to complete, and the world is like this and this and this, because I can't tell everybody that, because everybody's going to think that I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying, to say, hey, you know, I used to rule galaxies and shit, but now I'm in this vessel because I've been called to, you know, help the beings on this planet to do whatever they need to do, so, you know, Earth can sustain itself, or whatever Earth's wanting to do at this time. So I was reluctant to tell him that, but you know, it was really good to just to even vent how I felt about the movie at the same time. And recently I just watched the lecture by Bobby Hemmett, where he says that with neurocinematics, how movies program you, and when you look into conspiracy theories and shit, that breeds fear. Okay, and I noticed a lot of people who do research conspiracy theories, they get scared, like, oh my God, what are we gonna do, da, 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 da. Especially if you're black, okay? Now, Bobby Hemmett mentioned that melanin obviously is the all omnipresent force, is within everything, not only in this realm, but, you know, up there too, as above, so below, okay? So he stated that melanin shuts down completely when it's in fear mode, you know what I'm saying? So I had to think about that too. It's like kind of funny how I ran across that video as well, like how, you know, melanin kind of shuts down when you have this fear, like, oh my God, you know, the government's gonna do this and put us in FEMA camps and race war and nah. So yeah, I just really had to go through that, just kind of remind myself who I am, where I came from, my purpose, and that shit like that really don't, you know what I'm saying, it affects me in a way, but I'm not going to be subjugated to it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am a powerful being, and I did not reawaken, you know what I'm saying, just to be fucked in the ass by the government. Excuse my vulgarity, but it just is what it is. So even with all this, my message to, basically what I wanted to kind of transmute is, my message is just to remember who you are, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know your purpose, why you're here, you're going to be wandering around aimlessly, and you're going to be subjected to the 3D or earth or hell in all of this bullshit that it entails, okay? It's really imperative that you claim your power, that you know who you are, why you came here, you know what I'm saying, that you contact your spirit guides, and that you kind of connect to your higher self, aka the God in you, because it's the God in you that protects yourself, that protects you, okay? It's the God in you communicating, and how you think is how you are. So if you think that you're, Bobby Hemming said this too, he was like, if you think that, you know what I'm saying, you just an average nigga just walking around, you know, defenseless, that's what you're going to attract, so you don't have anything protecting you. But if you have the mentality that I'm a supreme being, I used to rule galaxies, you know what I'm saying, I can astral travel, I can do this, I'm a magician, you know what I'm saying, I'm an occultist, I'm this all-powerful being, then that thought process is going to connect to your subconscious and your God self, and that's the shit that protects you, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of actually making sense now, because the lady who came over here to tell me to bring over my sage, I didn't give her a reaction, you know what I'm saying? I ignored her. Like I said, I ignore white people. I pretend like she wasn't even talking, and I continued to burn my sage, you know what I'm saying? But just the simple fact that almost fucked me up and got me off my game to the point I didn't want to do this video no more is very imperative, because and I'm just rambling right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm going off topic, but this is what I'm channeling, so it is what it is. Just to know that it's going to be entities, outside entities, that are going to fuck with you, lower vibrational entities that are going to fuck with you. But it is imperative that you know who the fuck you are. You not allow energy vampires to suck you dry, because it's literally entities on this planet. Most of them happen in the bodies of white people who literally cannot survive without your engagements, okay? So this is, like I said, why I didn't pay her no mind. I pretend like she wasn't even talking to me, you know what I'm saying, and she went away, you know what I'm saying? It's the Aries in me wanted to fucking cuss her ass out, but I'm just like, that's not the frequency I'm trying to be on right now, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, even with the purge, I really recommend y'all go see that. Just be careful, like I said, be aware of Neurocinematics. Like I said before, I'm gonna really do a video going in depth on how Neurocinematics works. I'm still studying it, and I don't want to speak on shit that I haven't studied, or I feel like I'm not confident or haven't mastered it. That's not the type of person I am. So yeah, so that's kind of what happened to me. I just remember who I am, and I feel like that's really important to us. And like I say, if you're watching this video, you know what I'm saying, you know who you are, you know if you're attracted to certain knowledge, if you're attracted to me, you already know we're on the same frequency. So if I'm a God, you're a God, you know what I'm saying? But it's really imperative that you actually really know who you are and know the power that you possess. And the power that you possess is within your mind, because if you're not right within, shit ain't gonna be right without. Alright, so with that being said, I'm going to I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really wanted to get that off my chest. I really recommend that y'all go see the First Purge. It's very informative, and it really makes you think, and to really be aware, okay? So I love you all. Please, I'll leave all my contact information below in the description box. Feel free to email me, contact me in regards to readings and any consultations that y'all may have, or just anything that y'all, any questions y'all need to have. Like I said, I'm an open book, so if y'all have a question, I have no issues answering, okay? So, that being said, I love you guys. Bye.